Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with a very interesting reaction. Mr. Ken, who as we know is Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby daddy, decided to join a live stream that Sir Morbid was doing just a couple days ago. And I saved part of this live stream, which equals out to about 44 minutes, and I figured let's do a reaction because the things that he says in this live are oh so just reaction worthy. It really shows what an immature, conniving, vindictive person he is. So we're going to go over it. If you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. Now, as a little bit of a PSA in the beginning, I don't know yet because I don't know how long this reaction is going to be. I might need to split it into two parts. If I do, both parts will go up on the same day, about an hour apart from one another. I had to do that with the video where Gypsy went on Kaylin Lowry's podcast. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but if it does, of course, both parts will be up very close to one another. Let's start at the top. I will have Sir Morbid's channel linked down below, and let's get into it.
Why do you want to talk about why you hate, I guess, this certain group?
Well, I mean, you guys do spread a lot of misinformation, but I'm here to correct it if you want.
Can you tell us some of the
misinformation? Where do you want to start?
No, where do you want to start? Ask me anything.
Okay. Starlight, do you have anything that you want to ask?
I definitely have a question.
Okay,
let's start with Starlight first. Go ahead.
Now, I'm not talking about your child because she's innocent. I'm just curious why Gypsy had her baby a whole month early, and
Our baby was born at 36 weeks. She was a tiny bit early, but she was perfectly healthy, and she never went to the NICU. She was a natural birth, and she came home with us 2 days later, and she's been incredible. She's been growing. She's been the best baby ever. And I mean, what else do you want to know?
I want to say too, Ken and Gypsy both use the word natural birth constantly. And as I pointed out in another video, she did not have a natural birth, which is fine. But let's stop saying that it's a natural birth because, in my opinion, she and Ken are utilizing the word natural birth as, again, a way to one-up other mothers. It's the same way that she brags about her body and she's rocking it and look at my, stomach and I lost all the weight. So I don't think that it's being used from the stance of being confused or not having the correct information. I think that it's used as a way to say, I'm better than everyone else. But let's keep going.
That's amazing to hear.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. Next question.
Okay, well, my question was, so does that confirm that you didn't hook up and cheat before Gypsy admitted?
Everything I've told you has been the truth.
Okay.
how much did the baby weigh? How much did the baby weigh at birth?
I'm not gonna disclose that.
Wait,
Okay.
I have a question because he just said he never lied. He never lied, and he did. You said in Natasha Cooper's live.
What an interesting detail to not disclose how much the baby weighed. That's not anything invasive. You've already released the child's full legal name multiple times, and you don't want to talk about the baby's weight. The reason that people are asking how much the baby weighed is because of the micro deletion. They want to know if Gypsy passed that down. Is there any correlation between her having this chromosome disorder and now this child? But that's the one thing they're not going to share. What a weird thing to not disclose. And he does that a lot in this live stream. I'm not going to talk about that. I've told you guys the truth. I'm not going to disclose that. I don't want to talk about that. So a lot of it is not very informative. Just wait till later when he totally goes off the rails. That's the popcorn part of this show, if you will.
That Gypsy was on birth control. That is a lie. Yes or no?
No, it was not a lie.
Okay.
So she
my
was
God.
on birth control?
But you also said in that same live that you guys were just friends and weren't having relations.
It was the first time that we met up, and we were just friends. Moving on.
Really? Also, keep in
Sure.
mind that Gypsy could have been telling him that she was on birth control. I'm not trying to cause issues, Ken, but she could have been lying, and you might still not know the truth. I'm just saying that's a possibility.
No.
Ken, the way that Lifetime the trailer.
Yeah, but why are you having your fertility tested if you're on birth control? Those two things don't usually, and correct me if I'm wrong down below, but if I was actively taking birth control, that means that I'm not ready to get pregnant, or I just don't want to get pregnant. They're both valid, just to be clear on that. But why would you be taking that and then also having your fertility tested? Gypsy is one of those people who thinks that having a child with somebody is going to lock them down. That's a very scary mindset. You should not ever be having a child because you think you're able to lock someone down. Having a kid does not guarantee anything. In fact, some things get much worse because y'all are not compatible and you were utilizing a child as a pawn, which is demented.
For season 2 coming up here, that we're going to see in March, I believe, portrayed you. Do you feel like it seemed like you were confused, as if you're like, I didn't
That's how
want this
trailers are set
baby.
up.
I'm surprised.
They're set up to make you want to watch what the actual context of the conversation was, but you'll have to watch the show to find out what that context was.
Well,
So
yeah,
you're
I
telling us
watched
Lifetime
it.
set us up for?
I'm not telling you that Lifetime did anything. I'm just telling you that trailers are set up to make you want to watch the episode for the full context. So if you want to watch the episode for the full context of that conversation that I had, you'll have to watch the show.
It just seemed like
You'll have to watch the show.
what you said in the trailer was you were surprised that, or you were disappointed that this baby was born the way it was, and you weren't even ready for it, and you thought
Nope.
you should have got the divorce.
like
The
I said,
divorce should
you'll
have been
have to-
settled first before you actually.
Again, you'll have to watch the show to find out the full context of that conversation. I can't.
Ken,
I have
why
no
is
control
that?
over how edits are made.
Okay,
You know?
that's fair.
But Ken, some conversations you don't need full context. Some conversations you can just tell by the body language and the words that are said in that clip. You can really tell how someone is responding to a certain situation. So nobody wants to necessarily watch your trash show that, thank God, I think is going to be over here soon. I don't think this is going to be a series that goes on and on and on, because people are just, losing interest in Gypsy Rose. It's boring. It's old. Like, she's been exposed for who she is. We've talked about it. And I don't think that a network as large as Lifetime, even though they are very greedy and they were wrong to even give Gypsy this show, at a certain point, they're going to pull the plug.
Do you happen to know why Lifetime is reaching out to TikTok creators?
I have no comment on that because, to be honest, I have no idea. I have nothing to do with any of that.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. If the baby wasn't due until January 25th, why did Gypsy on
And FYI, I do know that Lifetime has contacted several creators. I'm not active on TikTok and I don't really check my messages, so I don't know if they've tried to contact me through there or maybe even my email. Nothing that I have seen, but to be extremely clear, I could get an email or a request from them today, tomorrow, next week. It doesn't matter. If Lifetime wanted to utilize my content for Gypsy's show, that is something that I would flat out deny. I do not support Lifetime. I do not support Gypsy or Ken or Christy or Rod or really even Mia for that matter. There's just no way that I, as a person and a creator, would want Lifetime utilizing my content on such a trashy show. And I know all creators come up with their own decisions, whether it's yes or no, and those decisions are valid for them. But it would be a no for me. If and when that request came through, which I'm kind of hoping I just don't get any requests so that I don't have to deal with it. But even if it did come, it would be no.
It wasn't
said that
the
she was supposed
25th.
to be in
It was the
22nd.
Okay, but that's not my
Was it
question.
the 22nd, Ken?
Why did
The
Gypsy say
22nd was the original due date. Yes.
January. Okay, go ahead.
Yesterday was the due date.
so? When Gypsy was on Bree's Live 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, she said that she was supposed to be induced on that day. Why so early?
No, the original induction date was supposed to be the 16th, not the 22nd. And but the baby made an early appearance. But luckily, she was totally healthy and happy, and the doctor sent us home.
Now, there is this argument that comes in here in a couple of minutes. And a lot of people are saying, oh, there's no way that as a first-time pregnancy, the Gypsy would have been induced. That just doesn't make sense. She wouldn't have had an induction date. You want the baby to stay as long as possible. Listen, I'm not an OBGYN. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. And I don't work in the medical field in any capacity. I think this is one of those situations where people are really trying to take their beliefs and make it like this blanket statement. The thing that I will say is, I think each situation can be a little different. And if they had an induction date and that's something that the doctor made a decision on, then it is what it is. What really matters is this child being loved and taken care of. I just firmly disagree with Gypsy Rose Blanchard being a mother about a year after she got released from prison for such an atrocious crime.
There was no NICU, there was no C-section, it was a natural birth. I swear to that. I have no reason to lie about that. I have no motive to lie about that. That is the truth. And we got lucky, and I'm just happy and blessed that she was healthy. And
Ken talks a lot about how he doesn't have the motive to lie. He doesn't have the motive to not be truthful. He doesn't have the motive for this, that, or the other. But you do have the motive. You are trying to self-preserve and protect your image while also protecting the image of Gypsy, because you know as well as everyone else that her fame and her the interest in her is fizzling. So why would you not try to preserve that for as long as you possibly can? So you do have motive, whether or not you're being honest, whatever, but you do have the motive.
Everything has been great.
Has your mom, Raina, been able to see your baby?
Yeah, she came down and helped us for the first week. It was the four of us living in the house together for the first week.
What house? Your house or the Blanchard's?
My house in Metairie. And she stayed with us and helped us bring our baby into the world and gave us a bunch of, pointers and helped us with, accommodating her the best we could. And I thank my mom for that greatly. And it's been great so far.
So Gypsy was allowed to stay at Ken's house for a full week. Now, according to her parole guidelines, it's supposed to only be a couple days here, a few days there, a couple days there, go back and forth. So you're telling me that she, as someone who is on parole, does not need to follow the rules all because she had a baby. And as far as the pointers that Ken's mom might have given him and Gypsy, I would not put a ton of faith into somebody that ended up raising an adult who turned out to be like Ken. Might be unpopular, don't care, moving on.
So is Gypsy living with you permanently? Permanently. Sorry.
No, she's not. She can't. I spend a few days with her here. I spend a few days with her there, and we make it work as best we can.
So who has the baby?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Full time.
Well, when she's with me, obviously we're all three together. When she goes back to cutoff, it's her and her family there, and I try to come down when I can. But I also work full time here in Metairie or in New Orleans.
But you don't get to take her home, though, right?
There has not been an instance yet of me at home with
nobody. I wish that somebody would have clocked that he literally just said that Gypsy was with him for a full week. And if he's saying a week, it could have been 10 days, 14 days. It could have been much longer. That is against her parole guidelines. I wish someone would have called that out, but let's move on.
Aurora by myself without Gypsy. Not yet.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if she's breastfeeding or not, so that would make sense if she
Is
is
she-
breastfeeding. Why you
breastfeeding?
can't take her
Breastfeeding.
home.
We're formula feeding.
Okay.
Does
Alright.
Gypsy still suck baby bottom? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Hey, come
Well,
on.
if you're gonna get rude and
I'm sorry. It's in her
inappropriate, we're
book.
not
It's in her
gonna-
book. It's a fair question. It's in her book. I'll stop.
Did you read the book, Ken?
I have read the book.
And what
I'm
are your
not gonna
thoughts?
talk about the book. We're not gonna get into the book.
Why?
Why not, Ken?
He's like, full stop on the book. Ken does not want to talk about the book, and I think it's because so much of what was said in the book was able to be proven wrong, and he doesn't want to get caught up in that web of having to address the lies that Gypsy produced.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Is it
What are
better
your
than
thoughts
what
about it?
you said?
We're not gonna talk about this.
If you were to rate it 1
Are
to
you
5,
proud of
like
her book?
a movie.
Are you proud
I'm
of
proud
it?
of Gypsy for sharing her story, and that's all there is to say.
Were you at the book signing?
Wait,
I was
hold on.
not. I had to
question.
work.
You
I
had
have,
to
a
work.
question. I have a question, just real quick.
Go ahead.
Did you learn new things when you read the book?
That's a great
Of course.
question.
that's a good
Of
question.
course.
What did you
So
But
learn?
was
I'm
there
not
a
gonna
lot of
talk about the book.
stories? Well, I'm not. I'm just generally asking. Like,
Well,
were
I know
there
you're
stories
asking
in
about it,
there?
but
By the way, keep in the back of your mind that he said he was not at the book signing because he had to work. Remember that for later.
I'm not gonna talk about the book,
Was the
so we can move on.
was it?
It must have been very emotional for you.
It's a very emotional story to read Gypsy's book.
How come
She's
you
been
didn't
through a
know
lot.
about that
but
stuff? If I'm just wondering. I mean, was it a surprise to you? Were you like, "Whoa, Gypsy! Wow, you didn't share."
And it is a story. That's what it is. It is a story not based on fact. I said when this book hit the shelves, it should be in the fictional section because it's just so clear that it's a bunch of embellishments and half truths and nonsense. And in my opinion, something that her daughter should never be able to read. I could not imagine reading those words from a book that my parent wrote about their life. No.
This with me? I mean, we have a baby together, and
we're gonna move on from the book conversation.
Hey, I'm back. This is Becca Scoops. Hi, Ken. I have a question, and this might be a really stupid question. I was out walking my dog. I'm a dog lover too, Ken. Did you guys say, or did Ken say that Gypsy had an induction date of like January 16th? Is that right?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so induction meaning, I know I only had 3 kids. I wasn't an OB nurse, but meaning they would induce labor on the 16th, right?
Correct.
So they weren't going to let her go into like natural, just like go into spontaneous labor, right?
I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm just saying
Okay,
that
so like
they
let's say
don't
your due date.
induce.
Usually
the
when
original due date was the 22nd. We decided
Right.
with our
But
doctors
usually
to
they don't
induce.
induce with a
Yeah,
first
they don't. So
pregnancy until you're past your due date.
so
Well, that's
here,
not
here's
always true.
Can I
For
talk?
just to
Can I
all right,
talk?
hold
Go
on,
ahead,
let Becca
go
go.
ahead.
So usually Ken, what happens is like when you have a due date, which for Gypsy would be January 22nd, I think you guys were saying, especially with the first baby, which is usually late, not early. You don't induce labor. You don't induce labor, period. You want that baby to be baking in the oven as long as possible. Now, I'm only asking because that you guys brought up that, and I'm not trying to catch you in anything, Ken. Trust me, I'm not a mean person. I'm just trying to understand because we know that Gypsy had some health issues, and I'm wondering if that was why the induction date, like her OBGYN was like, look, let's, or maybe you don't know, Ken. Maybe you don't know.
I was wondering.
I know everything because I was there for everything. I went to every appointment. I went to every doctor's appointment.
Good.
And the baby was originally set at a due date of the 22nd. That's based off of, the beginning of the pregnancy. And the doctor decided that, hey, let's go ahead and induce on the 16th at earliest. And the baby made an earlier appearance. Luckily for us, she was born totally healthy and never had to go to the NICU. It was not a C-section. It was a natural birth. And
Okay,
that's really all there
I'm
is
so
to
happy,
say.
and I'm sorry I was out of breath. I was walking my dog and I was running, and someone in the chat was like, "She's."
But again, it was not a natural birth. And the actual definition for natural childbirth is giving birth using no medicines at all, instead using techniques such as relaxation and controlled breathing for pain. Gypsy opted to have an epidural, which is completely valid. But let's stop calling it a natural birth because people that don't do their research are going to hear that and think that, oh wow, Gypsy did it all. She had a natural birth. She lost all the baby weight. She's rocking it. She's out here dancing on TikTok and doing all kinds of quirky things while I'm losing my mind over here and watching the little gremlin dance around and brag in everyone's face.
Doesn't have good energy. Well, I'm sorry, I was running. Yeah, well, thank you for answering that. That was just interesting about having an induction date, and we us, we want to know everything. So
what I do want to say, man, I'm a little disappointed because you said man to man that we were gonna have, if there was an interview, you and I would have that one-on-one.
I did, and I still stand by that. But you have to understand,
dude, you were on the Vial Files, correct?
Okay. Well, listen to me. I have contractual obligations, and I have
Lifetime.
Exactly, and I have a parent company that oversees those obligations. So if I have to have permission to do
I didn't know
live
that.
one-on-one interviews, and that's the reason why, yes, I'm allowed to go on Vial Files or whatever because I get permission from the network. However, I cannot do a one-on-one interview with you because I do not have permission from the network, and that is the reason why. It's not because
But if you really wanted to do it, you could ask for permission and see if it was granted. I just personally don't think that Ken wants to be one-on-one with Sir Morbid because this is somebody who knows a lot about the historical events that have taken place up until current day. And I just don't think that Ken is ready to sit down and do that. I think it would be him trying to fight his way out of a paper bag and not having any escape route. So for now, he can say, oh, well, I can do this, but I can't do that. We'll do it later. Contracts this, permission that. And it's pushing the timeline. Maybe he thinks that Sir Morbid will just forget about it and stop asking, but I think he has another thing coming.
I've gone back on my word. It's not because I was lying to you or fibbing to you.
Okay.
That is just that's the reason. So
That's
you have
fine.
to understand there's contract.
By the way, I haven't heard someone use the word fib. I wasn't fibbing to you. Last time I heard someone say fib, it was probably in elementary school. Do people still use the word fib? Tell me down below.
Actual obligations that I have.
So when does that contract end so we could get that done?
I don't have an answer for you right now. I mean, I'm still under contract right now. This is not considered a one-on-one interview, so
no,
I'm
it's
just
not.
talking to you.
If you're under a contract, you should know what the end date is. Especially with a network like Lifetime, your contract is not going to be open-ended. You're going to know the end date. At least you should. If you're looking out for your best interest, then you can realize, okay, this is the end of my contract. This is what I can do after that. This is the, end of the tunnel, so to speak. He's so full of it
at the moment. But, as far as a one-on-one interview goes, if that time comes,
I'm going to hold you to it, buddy.
Okay.
I got your information. I got your contact, so.
I have another question. So you said that the induction date was the 16th. So why did it get moved up?
It didn't get moved up. The baby decided to come when she came.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she went into spontaneous labor is what he's
I
saying.
gotcha. But right, because it wasn't a C-section. Okay, gotcha. That makes way more sense.
Ken, in the back of your mind, do you ever wonder, maybe this is Ryan?
Elaborate down below on this conversation, because like I said, I know that everyone is a little bit different, and maybe Gypsy's doctor just decided to go ahead and put an induction date, because that's what they thought was best for the situation. But a lot of people are saying you don't have an induction date, especially for your first pregnancy, and you're usually not induced until after your due date. So I don't know. I want to hear from y'all. Tell me your experience down below.
Baby.
Well, because of the fact that we've already done a paternity test and posted those results, and I understand there's a whole tinfoil hat community that wants to believe that everything we post is fake or bullshit or photoshopped. I literally have no motive or reason, personally, speaking for myself, to lie about that. So I'm telling you with 100% certainty, because
Number one, you do have the motive. We've already talked about that. You do have a reason. We've talked about that. And as far as calling people tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, just because they don't believe a liar like Gypsy Rose, those are not tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. Those are just people that have critical thinking skills, and you're upset that those people exist, because if they didn't, then nothing would be called into question, and y'all could just lie and grift and mislead and do whatever you wanted, and nobody would call it into question, because, oh, it's poor little Gypsy Rose, she's out of prison now, let's just treat her like the B-list celebrity that she so clearly wants to be.
I did a paternity test. That is my child, and I have absolutely zero reason to lie about that.
What kind of?
I believed it was yours. I just didn't know if maybe you guys hooked up sooner than you said,
Right.
No, that's not necessarily true.
I was just saying what
Necessarily
my
true.
train of thought was. Like, I didn't know, not you.
Right.
So
Okay.
Nothing I've ever said to anybody on any live panel, podcast, etc., has been a lie. So if you want to believe, and
Are you sure, Ken?
I know that there's a community out there that wants to.
Because we all lie, Ken.
Listen, of course we all
well,
lie, but I have not lied about my child. Now, I know there's a whole community out there that wants to believe that there was a fake pregnancy and that.
Okay, so you haven't lied about your child, but what about everything else? What about y'all just being friends, even though we know that that's not true? And literally, I don't know. I keep going back to you literally walked into someone's marriage knowing that they were married, all because you were having open communication with the person's raunchy stepmother. You thought that gave you permission to get involved in something that you had no right being involved in. Classless.
It's a fake baby, and there's nothing that I can do to change your mind. Minds that have been made up on irrationality cannot be changed.
Yeah,
I can't help you. So
I never thought the baby was fake.
I'm not saying you did. I'm not
ridiculous.
saying you did. I'm not speaking to you directly. I'm just saying to anybody listening who wants to believe that this was a fake pregnancy, that Gypsy wore a fake belly. I mean, it's just so fucking insane that I
I don't
can't
believe
even
any of
try
that.
to
Just for the record,
have a rational conversation with that person, because it's just so ridiculous that I don't even want to, honestly.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So we got the initial photograph of the baby, and it looks like it came from Christy, correct?
What?
I don't know. I mean, that picture was taken.
I mean, according to Gypsy,
over Gypsy,
it came from Christy, and she wasn't pleased about. She said that on Breeze Live.
I don't know what you're talking about, because to be honest, I don't follow the TikTok drama.
No, there's only
I
one
don't know.
picture of you
Correct.
in the
Yeah,
hospital.
that's a photo that I released. I posted on my Instagram.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you didn't
Ken
take
posted
it, so
it.
somebody took it.
No,
and,
yeah, I didn't take it.
and I believe it was
probably,
Chris.
So you released it. So who did you get it from? That was the question. Did you get it from Christy? Did you get it from someone else that was in the room at the time? Like, that's all the question was. And here you are being defensive and saying, I don't know, and putting your little shield up again.
took it.
Is it fair to say?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, who took the picture.
I'm just saying,
There was-
Gypsy said that it was Christy, and she was kind of pissed.
Maybe it was.
Dude,
I
come on,
couldn't be
you
sure.
know, you were there, bro.
I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, I'm not entirely sure who took the picture. We had a lot of people come in and out of our room,
Right.
and I don't remember exactly who took the picture.
All right, so I'm going to release it to TMZ and People's Magazine.
I do have
It was literally a posed photograph. Y'all knew the photo was being taken, and you don't know who took it? What a weird thing to refuse to answer.
Okay,
Well,
it's already been
like that
released,
anyway,
but go
'cause
ahead.
Ken posted it.
All right.
Can I
Well,
Real quick.
okay. Did Starlight? Are you saying something?
Yeah, there question from the chat from Nelly. She was wanting to know how you feel about the Petri speaking out.
I have not listened or watched anything on that, so I have no comment or anything to
Okay.
say. To be honest, I've
Okay.
been fully focused on my child, who is almost 4 weeks old, and that's been the forefront of my focus. And I have not been paying attention to the internet drama
But
or whatever
you're
you want to
here.
call it. That's been
Okay.
happening.
Well, number
since then.
one, congratulations on your first.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And nobody.
So I don't think that internet drama is categorized as a victim's family saying how they feel. That is not anything even closely related to internet drama. And how insulting to sit there and try to say that's drama. A family that lost another family member because of your baby mama's insane antics and her abusing a disabled man to kill their family member. You call that internet drama. That goes to show me how just low level and immature Ken is.
In this realm wants to ever talk about your child.
No.
Because that's not the subject we want to cover. So you have our word that's not something we care about in that sense. Okay. So hopefully you know that. There may be other
For some of
creators
you,
or whatever
sure.
that want to go that route, but that's not something that's important to us at all. So I just want to make that clear. So
I- I-
congratulations.
So
on
what
your first
creators are
time
you
follow.
talking about exactly?
I'm sorry?
What creators are you talking about
I
exactly?
don't know. Because
You
there's
don't
so
know?
many out there.
There's so many.
And they would go after your kid. I
How
wouldn't be
about some ones
surprised.
that have been on your main panel for weeks?
Such as
Anybody
who?
come to
Who?
mind?
I'm sorry?
I'm asking you.
Me?
I'm asking Morbid. This is your panel, correct?
You're saying that someone on my panel went after your kid?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
Has anybody?
No.
Not that I know
Not
of.
that I know of.
Okay. All right.
Do
We'll
you know
move
of
on.
anyone?
No, we'll move on. To be honest, I
I
don't
would
watch your
definitely wanna
lives
know.
all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, if you know of anyone, please let me know.
I was just asking.
Because that's not appropriate.
we can move on.
I would.
Nobody in their right mind is going after this child. Like, if they are, then that's wrong and they should just not even be addressed or paid attention to. 100% of the content that I have seen personally or shared or liked is people talking about Gypsy, Ken, Ryan, Mia, Christy, Rod. These are all adults having conversations about deplorable and despicable adults. Nobody's going after the kid, and let's not allow that rumor to run wild, because what that's going to do is get people in Gypsy's corner, because she's going to be able to say, oh my God, they're attacking my child, when it's not even true.
Wouldn't encourage that behavior. By the way, we have Pink Pony Club in here.
Hey, Pink Pony Club.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You wanna
Okay,
talk-
so I just wanted to
Hey, Pink
address
Pony, I
something.
enjoyed getting you booted from the book signing. I really enjoyed
you
taking
did
part.
that.
Remember how Ken was saying he wasn't at the book signing, he was working, he was preoccupied, making that money. And the creator that traveled down there in order to do a visual outside of the bookstore, a peaceful protest, if you will, that's who is joining the live right now. And Ken absolutely is behaving like a 6-year-old little boy.
Oh, the book
Yeah,
signing
had a
that you
big
weren't
part.
at while
Had
you
a
were
big part in
working.
that, getting you kicked out. It was fucking awesome to see. I loved it.
So you were
But
working.
Love
you
the fact-
don't
weird.
like.
fact-
But
I
you
love
don't.
the fact-
Hold on.
Wait,
Ken.
hold
wait.
on. Let Pink Pony and Starlight, I'll let you talk. Pink Pony, you want to respond to? That's a very weird flex
Well, hold on, let me finish. I just love the fact that you paid for travel, accommodation to get down there for the book signing, and then we got your ass kicked out. I just loved that. And then watching you just
Wait,
kick
You
rocks
love
was
that.
hilarious.
Why?
So I
Can
loved
I
it.
say something?
Really?
Just proving more and more how much of a douche you really are, Ken.
That's totally
Ken,
fine.
But
I mean,
can
what's
I?
funny
Guys,
I
is
let
didn't pay
Dee
to
Pony
travel somewhere,
respond to that,
try
please.
and harass somebody, and then get kicked out of the door. So
She didn't
that's on
harass
you.
anybody,
Yeah,
number
she
one,
didn't
Ken.
harass
Come on,
anyone.
buddy.
Well, she planned to. So
Okay, well, actually, Gypsy was harassing me via my TikTok about a week before the event. Number one.
I don't know about that, but
Number two, let me finish. Number two, I find it
Based on what I've seen, there was no harassment, there was no plan to harass. You're having a book signing that's open to the public. You gave out the location. And now Ken is admitting that he had a part in getting this person kicked out and is giddy because they wasted money on accommodations. And that's what makes him happy.
interesting that you are such a good multitasker that you could simultaneously be at work and have me removed from
no,
a
I
book
said I got
signing.
off work,
So
but go ahead.
kudos to you. You just said that you were working and you didn't attend the
Oh,
book
I was
signing, and
working and
now
I had the book
suddenly
signing,
you
but I
had a
can still
part in
text,
that.
right? I can still text at work. Anyway, go ahead.
Are you going to let me finish, or are you going to keep
No, go
talking
ahead.
over
Go
me?
ahead. Keep talking. Go ahead.
Okay, so the reason why I joined this panel is because there's a really interesting message from Fancy to Ken from years ago that was dumped from, I don't know, Fancy's files on Reddit, where Fancy is attempting to sabotage Nick with Ken's help. So I texted you that screenshot, Morbid. I would like Ken to address that. Fuck the book signing. Fuck the book signing. Address that.
Why do you get so much joy, Ken, out of
I just
kicking
find it
Pink
hilarious
Pony
that
out?
somebody traveled, paid for accommodations,
Do you
hotels to
know?
try and harass a book signing, and then got booted at the
Wait,
door. I just find that funny.
Ken, do you know the
Okay.
reason behind?
Nobody was there to harass. Can we just stop saying that? Because it's just not true. Nobody was there to harass Gypsy. Nobody's there to, at least from what I saw, nobody was there to do harm. How ridiculous.
Why it wasn't to
Yeah,
harass Gypsy. We were there for Dee Dee.
it was to honor Dee Dee. Do you have a problem with that?
I just find it funny they got booted at the door. Hilarious.
You
Okay,
find
but
it
do
funny.
you have a
All
problem
right,
with
well,
that?
that's cool. I mean,
I find it funny that
all the
Lifetime's
money
not
you
paying you
wasted
enough
just to
that
be
you
the
still have to
commander's.
work
I
a
enjoy
second fucking
it.
job. That's the funny
Ooh,
part.
cracking
The
up.
funny
Ooh,
part is
crackling.
you having
Pink
to work
Pony, you're
multiple
up.
Sure
jobs.
do.
Your
Are
mic
you
is
knocking a man for working a
crackling.
job? Hilarious, but go ahead.
Look, Ken. All right. So you were the one that actually initiated the removal of Pink Pony because she
Oh,
wanted.
I definitely had a part in it. I definitely had a
Where
part in
were
it.
you?
And that was just, it was so scrumptious to
What was your
see
part in it?
watching her get kicked out and then have to go
It was.
He literally called it scrumptious. This person has the mind of a child. What a loser. I would be so embarrassed if my partner or my baby daddy or whoever was sitting here on a live stream talking about getting someone kicked out based off of lies. Let's talk about tinfoil hat because that's a conspiracy. That is a conspiracy that was never part of the plan. And you're sitting here calling it scrumptious. I don't know. This is just for me, this is cringe to the max. I would be so embarrassed if this was somebody that I was spending part of my life with and this is the way that they're behaving on a live stream that was viewed by thousands and thousands, and clips have been uploaded to TikTok. Like, everybody knows that this live stream took place.
on
Cringe.
the corner
Scrumptious. Where
in
did you
film.
watch
It's
that, by the
fucking
way, Ken?
hilarious.
Be honest with
I
me,
watched
bro.
it later.
Where
Ken,
did
you
you
weren't
watch
there.
that? Where did you watch that go down?
I watched it later. I
Where?
just said
On my fucking
on my
TikTok.
phone.
Wait, but you
On my
said you had
phone.
part of it.
Hey,
You said it
Pink,
was
I
part
think you're going to have to come back because your mic is
Yeah,
crackling
I
for
said
some
what
reason.
now?
You said you had a part of it, and now you said you watched
Yeah,
it
no,
later.
I had a conversation with people and I made sure that she got her ass kicked out of the door. So it was great. I enjoyed it.
So you're proud of that?
Fuck yeah, I'm proud of it.
You said a little slurry. Just saying.
She was harmless. Did you think she was harmful to the event?
No, I'm just happy to see that somebody who paid for travel and accommodation to come down there and harass her book signing got booted.
It
at the door.
wasn't
I just really
harassing.
enjoyed that.
No one was
Well,
there
you
to
might have a
harass.
different, you might have a
Yeah, do you
different
have
term
proof
for
of
it,
this
but
harassment?
Wait,
that's
guys,
the term
one at
I
a
have for it.
time.
And I just really enjoyed it. So I had
Okay,
my
so
fun
you
that day,
enjoyed it.
but that day's over.
Starlight, go ahead.
I could care less.
It says a lot.
Well, I'm just stuck on the harassing thing because that is not what that was about whatsoever. You're
Yeah,
turning
I
it into
mean,
that because
we beg to
Gypsy's
differ.
the
That's
ultimate
fine.
victim, right?
Agree to disagree.
But it's not agree to disagree when you're outright lying. That is something that is fabricated in order to make Gypsy look like a meek little victim. Like, oh my gosh, this person came down and they were going to harass this poor little girl at a book signing. That, in fact, was not the plan, never was the plan. And it's literally, you had the audacity to talk about tinfoil hats and then minutes later say this and giggle and call it scrumptious. Loser energy, Ken. Wow.
I don't see
Protect-
any
But
harassment there.
what
You don't
about
want
it
me to
was
say
Of course you
harassing?
wouldn't. I mean, I'm talking to a panel of haters right now. I don't expect you to see
That
my
is not
point.
true.
Like,
Or
but I'm
Kizzle.
telling you that I find it hilarious that if somebody traveled down there to cause drama and trouble at her
She
book signing
traveled down.
event and
Okay,
made
so
sure
I'm
that
gonna
she got
set you
kicked
straight
out
on
He
this,
was
Ken.
not
and
there
sent to
to
the
cause
corner, I
trouble.
find, I find
Unless we
hilarity
get
in
Pink
that.
Pony back up, but maybe I'm speaking out of terms here. But she didn't just travel down there for the hell of it. Okay, she went down. She went down there for a purpose to actually just
Justice for Dee Dee. She was there to
record some of the
record.
stuff and document it, and that was about
Yeah.
it. There was no
I mean, you can phrase it however you want to phrase it, but I see it as harassment.
There
to
was
my
no
girlfriend.
plans for
She has
harassment
another
at all.
child,
You got it
and
wrong,
I
buddy.
What
enjoyed
about-
watching
hold on, I
her
have a
get her
question.
refund
Harassment.
handed to her
How?
face and sent packing. I really enjoyed it.
Send
Nothing
it
could take
back.
that.
Did they record when Gypsy and her friend drove by somebody's work? Did Lifetime film that?
That's not harassment, though, right? That's not harassment.
Ken, did you hear that or no?
What are you talking about? You have an example?
When
When
Gypsy
Gypsy
Ken,
and
you
and
are
her
smug tonight,
friend,
baby.
Ivory Rose Grove.
You got
Hold
some
on,
confidence,
hold
baby.
on. When Gypsy and her friend took a little ride past somebody's work. You remember that?
I have no idea what you're talking about because I was not a part of that.
Wow.
So anytime Ken is called out or Gypsy is called out, it's I don't know what you're talking about. It's didn't happen. You guys don't know. You're a bunch of haters. What he doesn't realize is there are so many receipts out there against Gypsy that literally prove what I gotta do it. What a little disturbing gremlin she is. In the one short year since she has been released from prison, she has caused so much mess, drama, toxicity. And now you've got baby daddy sitting over here defending it and coming out with outright lies saying that a content creator went down to the book signing to harass Gypsy?
Bullshit.
There's no
Why
bullshit.
about it?
That's
totally
sad.
kidding.
If he
I'm
really
totally
doesn't
kidding.
know,
said something about it.
Ken's
He
got
really
that
doesn't-
confidence juice. I
liar.
want to
I'm
give
telling you
Pink
right now,
Pony.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Whoa,
so
calm down,
What
Ken.
are you talking about? Tell me.
All right, Pink Pony, did you fix your
it's
microphone?
well documented on our end, Ken.
Yeah, and Bree even admitted to it on her live, so you can go on with that bullshit.
Pink Pony, did you fix your microphone? You're here.
How do I sound?
Ooh,
Sam.
terrible.
Sam.
Scratchy.
Not good.
Yeah.
No.
But we love you.
Yeah, you're
I
great.
love
you have
you.
like
I love
a-
you more.
Yeah, Pink, we love you so
A
much.
different device, like a laptop, computer, or something. I don't know if you're
Okay, give
using
me a sec.
Android. We need
Give me a
iPhone
sec.
or.
I'll be back.
All right, sounds good.
And what I find really funny too is that Ken will sit on these lives. He was on this live for, call it 45 minutes. And you want to sit there and act as if you and Gypsy are just so above the drama. You don't know what's going on. You don't have time for it because you're a new parent. But then you'll sit on lives for almost an hour doing this. But you're above the drama. No, you're not. You love it. You love it. You love to be in the center of it.
But Ken, so you saw it differently than us, but can you give us an example of what exactly was harassment about it?
Ken?
That music. Do, 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 do,
I don't know if Ken
do.
heard that. We have Nelly Belly here as well.
Hey, Nelly.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
You want to talk to Ken? Oh,
Oh,
Ken
Oh,
lost
I'm-
connection. He'll be back. Ken,
I
do
think
you-
he's-
can you confirm that
No,
rumor
absolutely
of
not. I
health
mean-
concern for your baby?
I mean, that's a very generic approach. I mean, sometimes babies are born a little bit early. That's just
No,
the reality
Ken,
of the
I
world
think
we
he
live
said
in.
that it,
That's
that it
not-
wasn't
let me just tell
Induction.
you
Hold
right
on.
now.
Okay, so
I
we
mean,
got
listen.
Haiti and Becca. Go ahead first, and then Haiti.
Yeah, I just know this as a rule of thumb that in a normal pregnancy, when there are no health concerns, the doctor wants to keep the baby go full term. They do not want the baby to come early under any circumstances because the first thing is there's going to be a problem with the lungs. Okay. Now, luckily, that didn't happen with your daughter, even though she was born pretty early. That's kind of early. That's called preterm at 36 weeks. So, no, a doctor would not induce 2 weeks before a due date. It just doesn't happen unless
Becca knows more about this than I do, but I thought that 36 weeks was technically considered full term. Again, she knows more than I do, so I'm not making this like a I'm right, she's wrong thing. But if you're a nurse as well, drop your thoughts down below. Like, I thought it was full term. Was I wrong? Tell me about it.
there's a reason. And Ken, that's her. I don't need to know why. I just wanted to set the record straight. Okay. That's all because I just,
Ken,
that's all. Not a big
before
deal.
Haiti goes, Ken, do you have a response to that? Ken?
Jesus.
It's actually insane that I have to tell somebody who used to work as a nurse this, but actually sometimes babies are born a little bit earlier than their due date.
Yes, they are, but
And that
they're
was
not
the case
induced
with
early.
Wait,
our
They're
daughter.
not induced
Okay,
early.
well, you said that she was induced 2 weeks. Okay, the induction date was supposed to be less than 1 week before her original due date planned from the beginning. But
But
these
you
things are
don't.
never finite. They're never solidified, and sometimes we'll see what happens. And our baby was born a little bit early, but nothing to the point of being
A
sent to the
little bit.
NICU.
So
You said the
Nothing of
16th,
being
Ken, on December, right?
the 16th of January was supposed to be her induction date,
I
but she
want
was
to
born
ask
a
any
little bit
mother out
earlier.
there. I want to ask any mother out there that's had a baby if the doctor ever decided to induce you early
No.
for no reason.
Absolutely not.
can I say
Okay,
my last thing now?
okay. Well, listen,
After Ken.
sometimes cases are different than the norm, but the
Oh my
point is
God,
our baby
Ken.
was born perfectly healthy and
And I'm
perfectly
happy.
happy.
So
Okay,
happy for
perfect.
that.
So I
Genuinely.
don't exactly know what you're arguing against here,
I'm
but
just arguing that it wasn't smooth. It wasn't for no
it
reason.
absolutely was a
It's like
smooth
saying
delivery. There
But
was no.
Ken,
I saw
pushed it
your
out in
video
15
where you
minutes, all
talked
that
about how she
bullshit.
was a C-section, and that all this. She wasn't. She
Who,
was a
Becky
natural
It could
Steele's
have
birth.
been a
video?
planned C-section if it was going to be induced. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying what I know of
You know
my
who put out
professional.
that
Okay, but I'm
misinformation,
just telling
Ken?
you
Bree.
that
you
Bree put
shouldn't
out
put out
misinformation about the
disinformation until
C-section.
you know exactly what you're talking about. And the
Do
baby
you
was
see how he speaks to somebody that knows a lot more than him? Instead of coming at it like this, if he had even an ounce of respect for anyone, he would have said, I understand that's your experience as a nurse, and you have your experience from having your own children. This is what happened with us. I get it. Instead, it's like he has to fly off the handle at people. For what? You look like an immature, big crybaby.
born on December 28th, and she was 100% healthy. She got sent home with us the next day or 2 days later, and she's been an amazing baby ever since. She's been growing regularly. She's been weighing regularly. She's been gaining weight.
So everything has been great, but you notice how he still will not disclose what that weight is. I do think it's interesting. That's the one thing that they are holding back on while simultaneously saying weighing healthy, looking healthy, eating healthy, all the good things. But I also don't believe all that you say because you're a known liar.
Has been great. So
Let's
there's
hope
absolutely
not.
no cause for concern here. There's no room for whatever you're trying to spin. I don't know what it is, but we're lucky and we're happy and we're blessed that Aurora was born totally happy, totally healthy, and she's been growing and she's been doing amazing ever since. So
Okay,
sometimes babies are born a little bit earlier than their due date, and that happens. But the point
totally,
is, she
yeah.
was born with a full head of hair. She was born totally formed. She was totally healthy, and we couldn't be happier that that was the case.
What he's not comprehending is nobody is worried about the baby being born early. People were talking about the fact that she had an induction date that was set before her due date. That was the problem.
So there really is no reason to dilly-dally in the this and that and the possibilities and the semantics and the questions. And it's like, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now that I have literally no motive to lie. Absolutely no
If you have to say you have no motive to lie 73 times a day, you probably have motive to lie. Just saying.
motive to lie.
We're
That she
not
was a
questioning
natural
that.
birth. She's totally healthy and she's been great. She's been a great baby. She'll turn 4 weeks on Saturday, and we couldn't be happier. And
Okay.
I don't understand. And that's all there
Nina,
is to say.
your camera's on. Turn it off, and then I'll bring you up because I don't know if your camera's on.
All right, can I talk now?
Yes, go ahead. Hey, T.
Okay. So I think that there might have been confusion there because he said that the induction date was the 16th, and then I asked, well, why was the baby born on the 28th? He said the baby came early. So I think that Gypsy wasn't induced on the 28th. The baby came
No,
on
I
the
didn't.
28th,
I,
and she
I'm
wasn't
never.
induced. Unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but that's how I understood it.
Haiti, I know that she wasn't induced. It's that when a regular pregnancy, and after this, let's not talk about it anymore. In a regular pregnancy, people don't get induced unless
Okay.
it's late or there's a health concern. No, she
Under
wasn't
no
induced.
circumstance do they induce you at 36 weeks. And
That's
that's
Nina.
coming from a mother of 2 kids.
Well,
Under
it
no
wasn't supposed to
circumstance.
be. All right,
Under
dude, you really dropped this
no
fucking ball on, dude. I
circumstance.
swear to God.
Wait,
Under
Ken.
no
Wait, hold on,
circumstance.
guys. Hold on. I know.
I didn't know you had a vagina. Oh, and
First
maybe
of all,
you
I mean, if you
Actually,
were
I
too,
wouldn't be
I mean,
surprised.
obviously you're too fucking stupid to realize that she wasn't induced at
Your
36
mama.
weeks.
You and your
Ken,
mama.
Yeah,
That's
Ken,
you and
you
your mama.
gentlemen,
mom
come
You
on,
and your
bro.
mammy.
So she was
You
supposed to
and
be
your
induced at
mammy.
38 weeks.
And
All right,
you've
yeah,
always
calm
been
down.
a
Calm
liar.
down,
So
chick.
why would you come
Calm
on here
down.
telling the truth now? You're a liar.
Calm
We
down.
know
No,
that.
you're a fucking
Just like
liar, and
Cowboy
everything you
Bear,
posted
you
has
were
been
bent
lies.
over with
Yeah.
Cowboy Bear.
Yeah,
You came
okay.
up here and
So,
lied.
Response.
Right?
all right, guys, hold
Yeah,
on one
that's what
second.
you
Let's
Ooh,
do.
let this
You
fucking
calm
guy
lie.
down.
on your panel. This
You've been
absolute
Relax.
fucking
lying.
Let's
lunatic.
relax.
You've
She's
been
literally the
lying.
next
You're a
fancy.
liar.
First of all. Second of all, she would have been induced at 38 weeks if you can do your fucking math right, but you can't because you're fucking stupid. So she was
Wow.
born at 36 weeks. Like I said, 2 weeks earlier than the induction date. So yeah, get your math
Let's
right,
be
girl.
respectful, Ken. Come on.
Do you see how Ken is automatically coming with the elementary name calling? You're stupid. You're stupid. Do I think that Nina could have lower the volume a little bit, I do, but I'm not her and she's not me. And if she feels like she wants to come on this panel and yell, that is her right to do so. I don't like how Ken is automatically, you know, you get yelled at for a few seconds and you're literally sitting here calling a woman stupid, you're too effing stupid. I think that again shows like the extreme immaturity that this little man-child has.
No need to throw that.
You're actually telling me to be respectful? I swear.
Yeah, but I didn't know that you had a coochie because you're up here speaking to women about childbirth.
Okay,
Okay?
so again,
So you need to act like you got some sense.
Let Ken and Nina talk, because I think.
Well,
we
we
gotta
got some sense. You're out here
so first
acting
of all,
like you're a
again,
woman.
like
Yes,
I
I know
said,
you act like a woman
she keeps
sometimes,
raising
but
her
yes,
voice.
you're not
That's
one.
the kind of person that she
We don't
is.
want him to
Loud
rage
mouth,
quit.
lunatic, loser.
Wait, Ken, back up. Losers not going to get you. Okay, go ahead.
All I'm gonna do is drag your ass when I get over
She
here.
keeps
Play
talking.
with
She
me.
keeps talking. All right, so like I said, she said the baby would induce at 36 weeks. She wasn't induced at 36 weeks. She was born at 36 weeks. She would have been induced at 38 weeks.
So she was
But
induced
again, you
earlier.
can't critically
Yeah.
think.
Pitocin is inducing. Pitocin is inducing. But that's what we're talking
You
about.
don't
You
even
do
know
not
what you're
know
talking
what you're speaking about.
I know
They don't
exactly
give
what I'm speaking
Pitocin
about.
unless they're
Hold
inducing
on,
you.
let me talk for a minute.
Calm down, everybody.
Here's what happened. Everyone calm down for a minute. Here's what I think happened, Ken. Okay. On December 28th, Gypsy went into spontaneous labor, no induction, correct?
At what weeks?
On December 28th, Gypsy went into spontaneous labor. There was no Pitocin, there was no
Correct.
right.
Yeah,
She
that's
just
what
went
I
in.
thought
Okay. But what you said was that the doctor, the OBGYN, had a plan to induce on January 16th. When her
Correct.
due date was January 22nd, correct?
Correct.
And and then we got 1,100 people in the chat, and we've got a lot of mothers. Any mother, can you tell me if you were induced early for no reason? That you had a great pregnancy, and the doctor said, you know what, we're going to induce you 4 days before your due date. Please, someone put ones in the chat if that happened.
My daughter was born at 36
Because I guarantee you that has happened to no one.
My
for no
daughter was
reason.
induced at 36. I was induced
Ken,
with my
do you
daughter
have
at
an
36
answer?
weeks
I mean-
because of my blood pressure.
I don't know what the
at the
question
time.
is. I'm just telling you that she was born at 36 weeks, almost 37, and she was totally healthy.
And usually there's health concerns for a planned induction, and usually if someone has a baby, especially their first baby 4 weeks early, yeah, that's serious. You know, it doesn't mean that the baby's going to have health issues. It just means that. And so I was just this whole thing started and got out of control because I was just, when I heard that the baby was going to be induced, I'm like, no, that doesn't happen unless there's some kind of health concern. You don't induce.
No, I mean, well, the
You never
original,
do that.
like the original due date, which is planned from the beginning of pregnancy, isn't always finite. Sometimes there's room,
Hold
there's
on,
room.
Ken.
They pretty much know that.
Yeah, but
they
that's a
know
lot
that
of room for
ultrasound,
error.
They know what that.
It's
Hold on,
not.
can
It's listen.
Can I
I
just
don't
say
exactly know what you guys are arguing about exactly,
Hold
or
on,
what kind
Ken,
of point
can I
you're trying
tell
to make.
listen,
But the point
Ken.
that I'm trying to, what I'm trying to tell you is that yes, she was born a little bit early, but she was perfectly healthy, and she was sent home with us.
Right, but
the day
can
after.
you confirm?
Go ahead, Starlight.
Can you confirm that you said that before she had a spontaneous birth, she had a scheduled induction 2 weeks before her real due date?
No, that's incorrect. 2 weeks before
That's
her
like 4
original.
days,
No,
Starlight,
it's 6
or 5
days.
4 days.
6
Sorry, 4 days. My bad. 4 days for many days. She had a scheduled induction.
Yeah,
They
did she have
didn't
a
want her to go
planned
into
induction
spontaneous labor.
for January
Like I
something?
said, like they didn't want her to go into spontaneous labor, Ken. They wanted to induce the labor. That's weird, Ken. That's just not.
No,
that
it's
doesn't
not.
just
It's
happen.
really
For a
not.
first
I mean,
pregnancy,
the doctor explained it to us
for a
earlier. That's
normal
totally fine.
first pregnancy, I've never heard of that, to be quite honest.
How many of y'all have heard of that down below? Of course, I don't know. I do think that it seems weird to set an induction date before the actual due date. I would think that you're wanting to have an induction if it goes too far past the due date, not before it.
Well, what do you want
But
to
anyhow, I have
mean?
another question if
That's
you want
all.
to change the
That's all.
subject.
We will move on because
I have
we
another question.
kind of.
It's not without that. So, can you explain the hacker situation? I mean, we heard the story, but it's a little weird with the timeline that y'all were battling this hacker in the
Good question.
hospital
Okay, so Gypsy fell for a email scam
while
kind
she
of
was
thing.
in labor. While she
No,
was in
this was prior to that. This was days prior, and
Days?
I still think it's hilarious that Gypsy literally sat there and said with her whole chest, I'm not very familiar with scams. Girl, you are the scam. Of course you're familiar with them. You're just too dumb to realize when it's in an email not to click things because you're so thirsty to have that blue check mark. That was your downfall.
Yes, days prior, and I can't tell you the exact day the hacker took control of her account, but it did happen where she had released the login information to an email scam, basically.
What is the
and,
login information?
Oh, it's morbid
All right, go
Tuesday
ahead.
123
Tell us.
exclamation mark. No, so I have no idea, but so her information got released, and this hacker took control of her account, and luckily we got it back. But yeah, I mean that was a very real situation. I know there's a lot of people that think that like this was some kind of planned circus, which I don't understand the mentality behind that. But we got the account back, and it's now in her name and under her control. So I mean, we're lucky that we figured that out. But yeah, I mean,
She got it back because she's a boss bitch.
it was an unfortunate situation that lasted like a day or two, but we got it under control.
Okay.
Can you can he answer the question Pink Pony had about some screenshot that was sent to you?
Pink Pony, did you fix your mic?
She said she sent it though. Just
I mean, I have the screenshot.
It should be
I guess.
good. Am I
Ken,
good?
you want to look at it?
I can't look at it right now. I'm in the
well,
car.
we can read it to him.
What are you driving and shit?
So what are you asking me to look over a screenshot from me and Fancy that of a conversation that we had from like 5 years ago?
About Nick?
2019.
Something
Okay,
to do with
so
Nick?
6 years ago.
All right, let me show it to you.
Notice how Ken is really putting that distance between what they're trying to show him and what's being discussed right now, current day. It's like, oh, what, 5 years, 6 years, as if problematic behavior and being a bad person has an expiration date. It doesn't. You said it, let's address it head on, and then you can move on.
And Pink Pony, I don't know if you're there and your mic's good, but
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Much better.
So what do you want to ask him about this?
So I'm curious about, if you scroll down just a little bit, that message from Fancy. It's June 17th, 2019 at 3:13 in the morning. Just thought I'd let you know we now have the complete inside story on Nick, and we intend to make sure that guy never gets an appeal or sees the light of day. Thank God Gypsy escaped that sociopath. Hope you are well. So I'm real curious what this conspiracy against Nick was. Is that about the text from Dawn? And I would hope that maybe Ken could give us a shred of honesty during this live and expose Fancy for whatever she's been doing to try and conspire against Nick Godejohn.
Sounds fair enough to me, Ken. Go ahead. Ken? You're muted. Go ahead, Ken. Ken. Hear you, but you did. Ken, are you there?
No, Ken.
Maybe he like lost reception or something.
Yeah, something there.
Petri? My God.
Something.
We'll get it back here. Ken, are you there or not? If not, disconnect, come back in.
If not, say no. No, I'm kidding.
Kenny?
Kenny boy.
We're looking at this screenshot that was dumped from Fancy's, files or whatever on
I
it was
actually
dumped
am
on
the one
Reddit.
that sent this screenshot in, but yeah.
What's that?
I'm actually the one that released this screenshot, but yeah, go ahead.
So your email is goodwivesdish@gmail.com. That's you?
No, but I'm the one that posted this conversation.
So you have this entire Google Drive?
I don't know about the Google Drive, but the conversation between me and Fancy, I believe so. I do.
All right.
So
She
you're the one
released
that-
it too, so.
Okay, I'm just curious if you can maybe like shed some light on this, because this is like a current topic and I feel it's really important, and maybe you can, do some justice for Nick and expose Fancy in this situation. But her message to you, June 17th, 2019 at 3:13 in the morning, she said, "Just thought I'd let you know we now have the complete inside story on Nick."
It's actually not 6 years, it's just over 4 years. But again, here you are trying to put that block of, oh, so many years ago. It's still relevant. And if you're an honest and truthful guy, then let's talk about it.
And we intend to make sure that guy never gets an appeal or sees the light of day. Thank
Jesus
God
fucking
Gypsy
Christ, dude.
escaped that
This fucking
sociopath.
shit keeps
What was that, Ken?
I think he's having cell
You
phone
okay,
issues.
buddy?
You have no idea about any type of conspiring that she was doing against Nick while like during this
No,
time?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. It's a 6-year-old conversation. I have
Ken is just gullible. He's gullible and he's in love with a murderer. That's what it is. And now, unfortunately, they have this collaboration. And I hope that the one thing that can be good out of this is I hope that that child is not used as a pawn. And I hope that child is shown unconditional love and protected. And I just worry about that because of who this child's mother is.
I'm really puzzled by the relationship between Ken and Gypsy. Ken seems to not be in the loop of anything that they do. And I mean, if it
Unless
I can
he's
only
playing
speak.
dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak from my own
Playing
personal
dumb? You're
experience
asking
in
me to like
relationships.
give you insight on a 6-year-old text conversation? You think that'd be
No, I
another thing I'm
wasn't
playing
talking
dumb?
about
No,
that.
put it up. No, he's
Well,
not playing.
Ken, not.
No, shut the fuck
Ugh.
up.
Oh,
well,
you don't
my
like Nina, Ken.
Uh-oh.
You
I think the feeling is mutual between them.
Mm-hmm.
I
you're
think
really
that Nina is
upset.
like a second. She's like a second to Fancy, somebody who's been entirely consumed by the Gypsy Rose, case. That Gypsy Rose kind of owns and controls you and like forces your hand to everything
I'm
you say and
consumed.
do.
I didn't call
I
my
mean,
job. No, wait.
okay,
Let's clear
nobody
something
called your
up.
fucking
No,
job.
listen. Yes. And Bree admitted to it. Your
I
girlfriend
mean,
has
no.
harassed me, or your baby mama, your hoe, whatever
Listen,
you want to
you
call
got
her.
fired from
Yeah,
your job
yeah,
because you're
yeah.
an
Let
online
them
lunatic,
work it out.
pathetic
Listen, Ken,
person. That's
this
why you
would
got
have
fired from
never
your fucking job.
happened. I would have never. I didn't reach out to Gypsy. I'm
Listen,
not the
the
one
only
sitting on
reason you got let
panels for.
go of your job is
Listen,
because
you're
you're a
going to
lunatic,
listen to me.
obsessive bully who
Okay.
nobody wants to have them work for them. So now you do what every other content creator does, and you shit out fake videos with false rumors and bullshit to get
How do you know that,
because
Ken,
that is
that
your
Nina
job
was a
now.
shitty employee and all that?
Because that's all that you do now. You post fake news and fake content to get views and clicks for views and money.
But my stuff has
Because
actually been proven.
They really just like go back and forth here for a couple of minutes. Like, it's very obvious. Ken and Gypsy don't like Nina. Nina doesn't like them. It's this bickering is not going to create a conversation because these are two people that truly do not like each other and are not there. They're not in this live stream to have a conversation that goes anywhere. So it's a lot of back and forth, but let's keep going.
Nothing else. You have
You
nothing
sound really
else.
angry,
You have a
Ken.
miserable
Why are you big mad,
existence.
Kenyatta?
And, oh no, okay, yeah. That's a
What are you
cute little
upset
card to
about?
play because I'm shutting you the fuck down right now. And you know that I'm right.
Kenyatta,
Because
what are
the
you so
reality
upset
is
about,
you have no
Kenyatta?
life outside of Gypsy.
Kenyatta, why are
And
you
that
so
your
upset?
entire existence is built on
Kenyatta, why are
Gypsy.
you so
And you have
upset?
to post false
Kenyatta.
bullshit to get views and clicks.
Oh,
Which only
okay,
makes you money
okay.
because you have no other income otherwise.
They
You live with
post
your
about
mother
me
and
more.
you have
I don't
nothing
live
going
with
on
my
in your
mom.
life.
Ken,
You
let's
have
not
nothing going
throw
on
out
in your life.
But
accusations
that's
that are
fine.
not
That's
true.
just the reality here that I'm speaking.
She doesn't live with her
facts here.
mother.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
you have
like,
You have
no
you
zero
have a
proof.
lot of
other
nerve.
purpose or meaning in
But
your
the
life
fact that
other than
you're
to
a drug
spread
addict,
false
you
bullshit
had a
and
baby by a
rumors on
murderer, and you
Gypsy
want
Rose.
to talk shit about
You know,
someone who had a
listen,
baby by a
I'm not
murderer.
talking
Are you
shit. I'm
dumb?
talking facts
You
here,
got a lot
lady.
of
You know,
nerve.
you
Just the
have
fact that you
nothing
had a
else
baby
to
by a
do but
murderer
to
does
post
not
fake
qualify you to even speak
bullshit
to me.
on somebody who you've never met.
You
And that's
sound
a sad,
dumb.
miserable existence. And I pity you.
Okay.
I pity you.
Okay.
I
But
really
you're the
hope
one.
that you find
Whatever.
something in your life that gives
Okay.
you purpose and
Okay.
meaning because otherwise it's a sad life
Okay.
necessary, even if that means it's not the truth. That is your entire existence.
Oh,
You just
okay.
want the
But
money.
how?
You just want the
Even
clicks.
though
You
it's
just
not
want
the
the
truth,
views.
but the things I've
You
said have
are a
checked out.
sad
So how are you
person.
saying the stuff that checked out are lies? Like that doesn't even make any sense.
Listen,
You
all I
sound
tell is
dumb.
the truth, lady. You tell bullshit for
Okay.
views.
Okay.
That's kind of
You know,
untrue,
like that we
Ken.
broke
Yeah.
up, like
But
that I
he's
don't
a
live with her
liar,
and her
though. We know
parents,
that
like
about
all
him.
that bullshit that you spread,
Yeah.
it's just garbage.
Just like
Anybody
Cowboy
who
Bear,
watches your
Kenyatta.
content is just as much
Okay.
stupid as you are. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
go
Okay,
find your
play
boyfriend and
the already
cry.
debunked cowboy card. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
No.
Is that all you have? Do you have
You're
anything else, Nina?
lying.
Do you have anything
You're
else?
lying.
Nothing else,
You're
huh? That's what I
lying.
thought. You're such a
Oh,
loser
you
as I
must have
thought
not
you
had
were.
some dick in some time. You sound really
Ken, do you
Anything
really
hostile.
else?
hate Nina this much,
Anything
or
else?
is it Gypsy
You
that
sound
hates
really
Nina?
hostile.
I don't hate Nina. I'm
You
just letting
sound
your
real
viewers
hostile.
know that she's a dumbass.
Oh,
And
you need
everybody
some
that
She's a
dick.
follows
You
the
need some
dumbass.
Reddit
dick.
community also
Oh.
believe that she spreads
Oh.
false bullshit. You know, like
Okay.
she can't face anybody
Oh,
who critiques her.
Kenyatta.
She blocks and bans and deletes comments at anybody who goes
So
against her
Gypsy never
narrative.
blocks or bans
Because
anybody.
I would love to hear from Nelly.
I got 30 seconds left. I have to go.
Uh-oh, Gypsy. Say hi to Gypsy.
So he literally says he has 30 seconds left, and this continues on for like another 15 minutes.
Feeding you the baby food, and in the video she's like, yeah, banana was my favorite. Remember that?
Okay, and
I mean, how do you feel that she sucked a bottle for 24 years?
it's horrible that she went through such child abuse.
Her
What's your
mom
next
forced
question?
her. Her mama
What?
forced her to suck that bottle.
This is how we know you're a liar.
Any more like
Come on.
respectable, like
Hold
normal
on,
questions
1
here? Are
second.
we
Let
just
him
gonna, like,
respond. Go ahead, Ken.
Are there any other like normal questions here? Or we
I
should
have a
pick some like
question.
low hanging bullshit fruit.
I have
All
a
right.
The
question.
the baby bottle. I mean, that's a legitimate question, and I got questions about that barbecue sauce too, sir.
All that goes into the story of how Gypsy is a
Barbecue
victim of child
sauce,
abuse.
though.
Okay.
Nobody forced
Can I ask a
Haiti, do you
question?
have a serious question for
I have
Ken?
a serious question. I'm
Okay,
not
go
the
ahead.
book or anything. Okay, so I've heard certain content creators encouraging people to call CPS on Gypsy already, like even before the baby was born. What do you have to say about that?
I think
I
it's
think
all
it's
just
awful,
normal
personally, but I wanna know what
hater
you wanted to say.
behavior. It's just stupid because Aurora's in great hands. She's got a great loving mother. She's got a great loving father. She's got a great supportive and loving family, grandparents, etc. And she's gonna have a great life. So you can do whatever the hell you want, but
I don't think
Aurora
I do not
has a
think
great
people should
family.
call CPS. I do
No,
not
yeah, I
agree
don't
with
agree.
I will will say, just to remind everyone, if this is the first video you're seeing from me, I fully disagree with calling CPS on people off of something that you have no clue or it's fabricated. There's zero proof of it. If you have proof of a child being abused, then absolutely, that's time to act on it. But simply calling CPS on somebody because you don't like them, you think they're annoying, you think they're stupid, that is wrong. And that's where I stand. That is where I have stood from the beginning of my channel. You do not call CPS on people unless you have proof of what your concern is. Even if it's a photo, you've got to have something to stand on. The reason, aside from wasting resources and it just being wrong, it also traumatizes children. If y'all grew up in a house where you ever had CPS show up to your doorstep, I'm sure that you can confirm that is very traumatizing. It is scary to have CPS come into your home that should be your safe space when there is absolutely nothing going on in that house for them to be knocking on your door. That's scary as a kid. So
at all. That's why I want to know what you thought. I'm not for that.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Ken,
So,
what can
It's a
we
horrible thing.
expect that's different from the trailer that Lifetime has put out?
all I can tell you is to
give us
watch the
something?
show. I can't give you anything. Watch the show and you'll see.
Mhm.
But Aurora is born to a very happy and loving family, and she's going to have an amazing life. And she's been great so far. She's been the most amazing baby. She's been growing, and she's been eating, and she's great. And she's a
You keep
complete joy.
saying she's been eating, like,
And
I
growing.
mean,
Yeah,
Can I
she's been
ask?
eating and she's been growing. I have to up her bottle every week. That's what I mean by that. And
I
she's
get enough
gaining weight.
sleep.
She's adorable. She's a sweetheart. She's got a full head of hair. She's got
no
green eyes.
failure to
I
thrive.
want to give
Adorable.
Nelly a chance to ask a question before you
Yeah,
leave
for
there,
sure.
Ken, because I know you only got 30 seconds.
So, Ken, I am not a creator, actually. I am in the Justice for Dee movement. So, I have a question, if that's okay with you.
Call CPS. Like, why does their kid matter to us?
Hold on, Nina. Ken, is it okay?
That just shows what a cold-hearted fucking loser you are, Nina. But go ahead.
All right, Nelly Belly, go ahead.
Okay, so you just made a statement about your daughter has a loving family, with grandparents. So my question, and I'm serious, and I'm not trying to pass anything. I'm not trying to pass you a shit or anything. Not that you would understand that because you're not from the bayou. But my question is how do you feel about the fact that your daughter's going to grow up one day and she's going to hear everything that happened, and she's going to have questions, and if it wouldn't be for the fact that Morbid and his community and us here in the Petri family side got an urn, how would you have felt bringing your daughter, because I'm sure as she one day would ask to maybe go and see her grandmother and her great grandmother, how do you feel about the fact that she's gone, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
I'm going to do everything that I can as a father to raise my daughter in the best life that I can and give her everything that I can as a father. And Gypsy's going to give her everything that she can as a mother. We have a loving and great and big circle around us. We have my family. We have my parents, meaning her grandparents. We have Christy and Rod, her grandparents on Gypsy's side. And of course, there's going to be a day where we have to explain the situation of, of Gypsy's life. And that is a day that we intend to all sit down as a family together and explain the facts as they happened. And when that day comes, we will do it. And my entire goal and my entire focus is to just give Aurora the best life that I can as her father.
Ken, what you're not going to be able to shelter her from is facts. And you can wait till this child is 18 and hide the book and hide the documentaries and hide the social media stuff. But unfortunately, you chose to have a baby with a murderer. And when you made that choice, you're also opening up that future child to uncover what a despicable person their mother is, and they will be left with so many questions. Why did my dad decide to, even have a relationship with this little gremlin?
And that's what I intend to do. I will never walk away from my child. I will never step away. I will never temporarily leave. I will always be there for her. And so will Gypsy. She has been an incredible mother so far, and I expect that to continue on into the rest of our lives. And we're very lucky and we're very blessed that we have Rod, we have Christy, we have my mother, Raina, we have my father, we have everybody around us to help bring Aurora into this world as best we can. And that is entirely what my focus is on. I don't dread certain things. I don't look negatively on certain things. All I look at is what is the best way that I, as her father, can positively bring her into a happy world and existence. And that is what I anticipate to do.
Okay, now how do you intend to do that if you don't know what the hell Gypsy's doing? Because apparently, you're like, oh, I don't know this, and oh, I don't recollect that. So, I mean, do you plan to be more involved in Gypsy's
I know
life?
enough. I know what's important. I know what matters. Okay, and we don't have to get lost in these arbitrary weeds that are irrelevant. Okay, I'm here for what matters and what's important, and I will always be a part of that.
Did
And I will
Dee
give
Dee's
her the
life
best
matter,
life I can.
Ken?
It's a legit question. Did Dee Dee's life matter?
So you guys want to get
According
like
to you.
you guys want to get into some kind of like side conversation here about whatever y'all's narrative
I don't
is?
know.
It's
'cause
not
And
about a narrative.
I have okay, y'all have y'all's narrative and what you believe the story is.
we
and I
want to know
have
your
what I know the story is.
thoughts.
And I'm
And
not
It's a
gonna
yes or no question.
like I said, I'm not gonna get lost in these arbitrary weeds.
You
I
don't know
told
what
you
the
what my
story is,
intention
Ken.
and my purpose is, and that's what I'm gonna do.
all I'm saying is
So
I don't feel like anybody's life is an arbitrary need
Yeah,
as you're
no.
categorizing it. But
So let
okay,
me
well
ask them.
well you can put words in my mouth if you want to.
I'm not.
But the point that I'm trying to make is you have your narrative and we have ours.
And I would love to hear
we are not
yours.
going to agree. We are not going to agree. So
That's
therefore-
okay, Ken.
Okay.
Well,
I just
and
wanted to
you're
hear
right,
your
that is
thoughts
okay.
about it.
That
That's
is
the
okay.
point. That's why
No,
he
I
asked
already
so
know
he
what
can
your
know your
thoughts are, and
perspective.
you know what my thoughts are, and we're on two separate
Okay.
sides.
I don't know
and-
what your
and that's
thoughts are.
fair
That's why I'm
enough.
asking you. What would you
Okay,
explain to
well-
your daughter? And because you were talking about it.
That
and-
conversation that I have with her will be our conversation.
All right.
Does not be had right now.
And
Okay,
you're
and you can
comfortable.
have your narrative spin, and we'll have our side. And
So-
Well,
Your
I'll
narrative
answer
spin.
for you that Dee Dee's life absolutely mattered, and that's what we're going to
I
make
mean-
sure that she knows.
Could we agree there that maybe justice for Dee Dee in the sense that she didn't deserve to die or be killed in such a heinous way?
again, you have your narrative, and we
So
have
So you
our
think
side.
you deserve that,
And I'm
Ken?
not gonna dive into these arbitrary weeds with you. I'm just not gonna.
Arbitrary.
So-
Arbitrary.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
not.
so
listen,
can I ask
listen,
another question?
honestly,
Hold
you have
on.
your opinion. Morbid, Nicole, everybody else in this panel, hate T, everybody, you have your opinion. Okay, and that's fine. Opinions are
Right.
respectable.
It was
That's
just
fine.
it was a
We have
question to you,
ours.
How
brother.
many times is he going to talk about weeds? You know, discussing somebody that lost their life because of your baby mama and people acknowledging how hurtful and wrong that is, that's not diving into weeds. That's not talking about things or topics that just don't really matter. Everything to do with Gypsy Rose, especially when it comes to the crime, that is so important. And Dee Blanchard is not or should not be compared to weeds.
That was it.
Okay, now I have another question real quick, okay, before you leave. All right, so Aurora's going to have your family and Rod and Christy, but what about the Petries?
That's what I was going to ask. I'm so glad you asked that.
Anybody who wants to be a part of Aurora's life on either sides of our family is more than welcome.
Okay, so the
You know,
Petries are
if they want to
interested
be.
in being a part of Aurora's life. Can you make
Because
that
they're
happen?
not-
Then they are more than welcome.
Hold on one
who
second.
is-
Go ahead.
Anybody who is willing to be a part of Aurora's life, whether it be on my side, the Urkers, whether it be on the Blanchards, the Petries, anybody is welcome.
Okay,
to be
so
a part of
I know
Aurora's
for a
life.
fact that the Petries want to be a part of Aurora's life. Will you make that happen for them?
If they want to reach out to me, they are more than welcome to.
Okay.
Does Gypsy
Can I
feel the
reach
same
out
way?
on their behalf to you and get that to work?
Sure.
Okay. There we go.
I hope that's true.
But
I'm
it's
holding
not
you.
happening through
I'm
you.
holding you
I
to that.
imagine the Petries have ways to contact the Blanchards, ways to contact anybody
But they
else
don't
in
want to
their
speak to
family.
the Blanchards. They want to speak to you and Gypsy.
Okay, well then they are more than welcome to contact me directly if they wish.
So I'm going to contact you directly on behalf of them because I know for a fact that they want to be a part of your daughter's life. Okay.
She's an
If they
extension of their
want
sister.
to, like genuinely be a part of our family's life,
Absolutely,
then
100,000%.
then they are welcome to reach out to me, and we can possibly make that happen.
Okay,
However,
I'm going to be
you know,
that.
I need to have that conversation with them first.
Is it okay if
So-
I mediate that? Because since
I mean-
we're connected and we have communication, because they don't have your communication, I'm more than
Well,
happy to give you their
If
communication.
they
Go ahead, Ken.
can you hear me,
Yes, sir. Yes, Ken.
I think his stuff messed up again.
Okay. Just want
Thank
to
you,
know.
Morbid. Thank you, Morbid.
So the last 5 or so minutes of this, they really talk about getting in touch with the Petries and kind of Sir Morbid being a mediator or a messenger in between so that they can be involved in the baby's life. I'm not really interested too much in that, and I've heard enough trash come out of Ken's mouth to last me the rest of my life. But as always, we're here to talk about it. Tell me how you feel about all of this. How funny that somebody that is too busy for the haters and trolls sits on live streams and does this for about an hour. Embarrassing and cringe. But either way, that's it for tonight. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.